Did you know that of all the people who go to see their doctor complaining of shoulder pain, somewhere between 44 and 65% of them come away with the exact same diagnosis? These people have pain when lifting their arms, especially in this middle range here. They also have trouble lying on that side when they're going to sleep at night, and very often there's an associated weakness in that shoulder. Now, if that sounds like you, you're going to love this video because we're about to go over a simple 3-part strategy for resolving shoulder impingement. Let's get into this. In the simplest terms, what's happening when there's a shoulder impingement is that structures within the shoulder complex that would not normally be coming into contact with one another begin touching or rubbing in certain positions, and this leads to tissue damage and pain. Now, the structures that are most often affected with a shoulder impingement are the tendon of the long head of the biceps, the tendon of the supraspinatus, which is one of your rotator cuff muscles, and the subacromial bursa. And more often than not, these problems come about as a result of changes to a person's physical structure and their movement patterns. The most obvious changes that I see to a person's physical structure when they come in complaining of shoulder pain are a forward head position, where the head is poking way out in front of the body like that, excessive rounding in the upper back, known as a hyperkyphosis, and internal rotation of the shoulders, where you're looking at a person straight on, and instead of looking at their thumbs, which would be normal, you're looking at the backs of their hands and their knuckles in this position. Now, let me show you how this affects your ability to move your shoulder. So, from a normal standing position, I want you to poke your head out in front of your body, round your upper back, and turn your palms towards your thighs, internally rotating the shoulder joint. And then from there, I want you to try and lift your arms up over your head. Pay attention to how high you can raise your arms in front of you before you run into a hard barrier that won't let you go any further. Then, what I want you to do is stand up nice and tall, get your ear lined up directly over your shoulder, put some extension in your thoracic spine, and point your thumb straight ahead like that. Then from there, try and lift your arms and see how far you can go before you run into that same hard barrier. And so, keeping that example in the back of your mind, the 3 exercises that I've got for you today are designed to open up and release the muscles that are responsible for internally rotating your shoulders, to strengthen your external rotators, and to encourage extension in this middle or thoracic part of your spine. Now, all of this is going to help your shoulders to move much easier and with less discomfort. The only thing that you're going to need for these exercises is a piece of exercise tubing or resistance band. Once you've got that, you're ready to go. Exercise number 1 is band-assisted shoulder extension. Now, for this exercise, I like to fold the resistance band in half directly in the center. I then grasp the 2 ends of the band using an underhand grip like this. Grasping the band with an underhand grip where your palms are pointed towards your rear end places the shoulder into external rotation. From there, what you're going to do is draw your belly button into your spine, push the crown of your head up to the ceiling, making sure that you're standing up nice and tall. And then from there, you're going to begin slowly pushing your arms back behind you, reaching up and back. You're going to feel elongation or stretching along the front of your arms, the front of your shoulders, and across your chest. Hold that for 10 to 15 seconds, breathing comfortably through your nose. After 10 to 15 seconds, you're going to actively try and push the arms slightly higher and breathe again for 10 to 15 more seconds. After that, you can do 1 final round. Try and reach slightly further back behind you. Hold for 10 to 15 more seconds, breathing comfortably, enjoying the stretch as much as you possibly can, making sure that you're keeping that nice, tall posture. After that final 10 to 15 seconds, you're going to slowly return the arms to the starting position and relax. You'll repeat this 2 times. One thing that I want to point out here is that if your shoulders have been sore or you've been in pain for an extended period of time, then performing this exercise with the band folded in half like I just demonstrated might be a little bit too much resistance for you, and we want to make absolutely sure that we're not causing discomfort with any of these exercises. And so if you find that performing this movement with the band in this position is pulling a little too hard on your shoulders or the front of your arms, well then all you need to do is unfold the band and grasp a single loop using that same underhand grip. Now doing that is going to cut your resistance in half. Everything else about the exercise is going to be exactly the same, but you're going to be much more comfortable, which will increase the likelihood of you actually performing this exercise consistently over time and getting the result that you're looking for. The second exercise is a double hitchhiker, and here again we're going to be grasping the band with that underhand grip. The difference is that now we're holding the band straight out in front of us, elbows are bent to 90 degrees, inner portion of the arms and elbows, if you can get there, should be touching the sides of your body. In that palms up grip position, you're placing your shoulders into external rotation, and this is really important. From here, you're going to draw your belly button in, lightly brace your core, press the crown of your head up to the ceiling, getting into that nice tall posture, and then from there, you're going to slowly pull that band apart, maintaining contact of your elbows or your inner arms with the side of your body the entire time. Once you roll those thumbs as far back behind you as you possibly can, you're going to hold the end position for 2 seconds, then slowly return to the start. Once you feel the tension in the band almost completely gone, you'll repeat. Rolling those arms backward, pulling into pure shoulder external rotation. Hold for 2 seconds, slowly return to the start. Now you want to use a level of resistance for this exercise that allows you to perform somewhere between 10 and 15 repetitions, and you'll perform 2 sets of this exercise. The third and final exercise is shoulder rolls, and this is the one movement in this series where you're going to be grasping the band using an overhand grip. Starting position for this exercise is with the band out in front of you. Notice that my palms are pointed at my thighs. I'm going to draw my belly button in, lightly brace my core, press the crown of my head up to the ceiling, getting that nice tall posture. And then from here, what you're going to do is roll your arms straight back behind you. Once you get to the position where you're about 90 degrees with the arms in relation to the torso, you're going to roll back to the front, maintaining that upright posture the entire time. Slowly back and forth, mobilizing the thoracic spine, the scapula across the rib cage, as well as those muscles that are responsible for internally rotating the shoulder. You should perform 15 to 25 total repetitions of this exercise, and you're only going to do 1 set. Now, if you struggle getting the arm back behind you, there is a really easy modification that you need to know for this exercise, and that is to simply slide your hands wider on the band. So I've seen people with severe shoulder restrictions who were completely surprised when their eyes kind of lit up when they went from that narrow position and they could only get to about here, and then they go to a wider position, and all of a sudden they find that what they didn't think was possible is possible just by sliding the hands a little bit wider. And then as you get better and more comfortable with this exercise, you can begin inching your grip slightly more narrow, which is going to give you more resistance and more stretch as you go through your shoulder rolls. Again, 15 to 25 total repetitions, 1 set, and you're all done. And so if you've been struggling with the types of shoulder problems that we talked about at the outset of this video, give this routine a shot for the next 4 to 6 weeks and just watch what it can do for your ability to move your shoulders through a much greater and more comfortable range of motion. And if you still find yourself struggling with shoulder problems at that point, there's one other muscle that you definitely want to look at that I didn't have time to cover in this series, and I've got a video that talks all about that, which you can see by clicking the link in the upper right-hand corner. I'll also put a link for that video in the description down below. Beyond that, I just want to thank you so much for watching. Make sure to hit that thumbs up button before you head out of here, and I'll see you next time.